Jai Shri Krishna. Today's video is going to be much different than what you're used to seeing on our channel. Today, we will use this platform to bring awareness and discuss something very important. This topic may make some of you uncomfortable, but I believe that that is a good thing. Being uncomfortable puts us in the perfect position to grow and to educate ourselves. Black Lives Matter. By saying that, I am not saying that all lives do not matter. I am not against the police. I am not saying that other people do not matter. But I am saying that a person should not be treated differently based on the color of their skin. I am saying that the Black community has been oppressed and mistreated for way too long. As a person of Indian descent, I have experienced some form of racism in my life. But I do realize that I am privileged. I realize that as a person with fairer skin, I am treated differently than the people I know who have a darker complexion. I realize that racism and colorism is something that we have let slide for way too long in the Indo-Caribbean community and the Hindu community. And the change starts with us. There are so many people who have been victimized. There are so many innocent lives that were lost. There are so many young people who had so much ahead of them in their futures, but that future was robbed from them. And yet, I do not understand why it is ever a question of whether or not these murderers have committed a crime. There are so many people right now who are protesting for justice and are being shot in the face with rubber bullets or violently pushed. The Black community, on the other hand, is crying out because mothers and fathers do not want to lose their sons and daughters, because siblings do not want to lose each other, and because enough is enough. You may see these protests as an inconvenience to you, but for 1 second, please think of the many inconveniences that Black people have gone through for so long. I urge you all to think about what you are saying. Should someone really be brutalized based on the color of their skin? We worship Sri Krishna and Ma Kali, who have a dark complexion. Ma Kali is the mother of the universe. She loves all of her children, and she loves them equally. How can you worship her and love her, but also stay silent as your brothers and sisters are being murdered and mistreated? We have lost so many due to racism and police brutality. We need to stand together and make a lasting change. We cannot continue to remain silent. I urge more leaders and other members of our community to step up and stand in solidarity with the Black community. There are so many resources available to show your support, some of which we have included in the description box below. The change that we need starts with us. To the Black community, I want to tell you what you already know. You are strong. You are beautiful. You are worthy. You deserve justice and so much more. Black Lives Matter.
Jai Shri Krishna. The past several months have presented unprecedented challenges for our community, our nation, and the world. We've seen a fight for justice over the past few days for those who have lost their lives due to police brutality and racial discrimination. For Keith Childress, may he rest in peace, who was shot and killed in December of 2015 when the police officer mistook his phone for a weapon. For Betty Jones, who was shot and killed by police officers on Christmas Day after just simply opening the door. For Kevin Matthews, who was pepper sprayed and shot after getting into an altercation with the officer. Kevin had schizophrenia, and no officers were charged with this crime. For Michael Noel, who was only 32 when he had a mental breakdown, his mother called the police for his own safety, yet he was handcuffed and shot twice. For Michael Lee Marshall, a 50-year-old man who was unarmed and mentally ill, he was restrained by 3 sheriff deputies to an unconscious state where he later died 9 days after on life support. For George Floyd, who was handcuffed and his face shoved onto the hot concrete, who was slowly suffocated by the knee of one officer as the other stood there and watched. As leaders and members of the Hindu and Indo-Caribbean community, we stand in solidarity with the Black community. The senseless loss of Black lives need to stop. Our faith's teachings tells us that each person is created in the image of God and therefore have intrinsic worth and value. No one is valued differently. There is an obvious truth in light of God's love for all of his children. If you have a problem with someone just because of their skin color or because of their caste or how they look, you have a problem with God. Because it is God who creates us in multitudes of colors so we could appreciate diversity and live in harmony. Vasudeva Kutumbakam is a philosophy that inculcates an understanding that the whole world is one family. We are all made from one source of energy, and God is that source. But how can we live as one when our Black brothers and sisters are systematically devalued by society? And of course, all lives matter. That's without a doubt a true statement. No one is going to disagree and say that there are lives that don't matter. However, there lies an issue. All lives serve as a blanket statement used to diminish Black issues. The Black community have been oppressed. The Black community needs our support. The purpose of Black Lives Matter movement isn't to exclude, but to emphasize the lack of action and attention brought to the systematic racism and violence that Black people are facing. It's time that we support our Black brothers and sisters and end racism. All lives cannot matter until Black lives matter. Bade pyar se milna sab se, duniya mein insan re, kya jaane kis beech mein baba, mil jaye bhagavan re. This bhajan says, greet everyone in this world with joy and affection, for who knows what form God will take. No one is higher or smaller. No one is bigger or lower. We are all beautiful flowers in his garden. Do not create walls of division amongst your fellow brothers and sisters. I ask each of you to stand for your brothers and sisters, for your friends, for your peers, your neighbors, as we seek a path forward. We will link a charity, an organization called Campaign Zero. They are dedicated to ending police violence in America, or at the very least ensuring that justice is always served when it is due. We encourage you to contribute to this charity or to contribute to many other causes that people are linking on social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We urge you to sign petitions and send emails to the appropriate officials. If you are not able to spend money, Go on YouTube and search Stream to Donate, and you will find many videos that allow you to donate without spending your own money. Make sure to watch all of the ads, which collect revenue to continue to support the Black community. Most of all, get educated. Learn more about the struggle that Black people face. Learn more about what you can do to help. There are many ways that you can show your support, even by just speaking up and bringing awareness to the situation and letting people know that this is not okay. We do not stand for this. Black lives matter, and we need to continue to fight this injustice.